Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Imaginary Engineering. This is Kirti, and in this video we are going to build story puzzle game app. In this basically we have to arrange the cards and create the story. If you are beginner, then this video is really gonna helpful. So let me show you the app first. So we will use the React hooks, useState, useEffect, useRef, then built-in function setInterval. Using this just basic of React, we build this app. So let me click on this start. So game has started. On the top you can see the remaining time. In below you can see the box. After that we have all the available cards. On each card there are some sentences. You can read this and create the story. You have to drag and drop this card into this box. We have to arrange it in a correct order. On the top we can see the remaining time. Now it's 1. Now it's 0. Here we get the message you lost. Next time let me close this and start it again. I will quickly arrange the card. I already know the story. So let me drag and drop this card and arrange it in a correct order. Now time remaining is 8 seconds and click on the finish. Here we get the message, congratulations, you win. So this is our story puzzle app. If I show you, if I click on this start and drag and drop the card, here you can also change the position of this card. If you want to place the first card to the second position, last card to the third, you can do that. These cards are basically draggable. So let's start. Here I have already created one React project using the command npx create React app application name. You can create one React project. And then here I have this app.js file. I will remove this line and then I will add the React fragment here. Then we'll add one main tag. Inside that I will provide the class name called container. I have already written all the CSS that require for this project in this index.css file. I will provide the link in description. You can go through that. Our main focus is React. So next we will add the header. Inside this header we will show the button, start button. So user click on the start button and start playing the game. So let me add the button tag here. We'll provide the class name button. We already have the CSS for that in our index.css file. Now next, first I will show you this data.js file. Here we have all the JSON data that required: ID, image, description. It is a list of object story puzzles. Now here first I will create one folder, components. Before that I will show you this asset folder. Inside this we have all the images. Now let's go to this components, and here I will create another file inside that components. Let's call it cardboard.js. Let me define the function for that. Now here what we will do next, we will import that data story puzzles from the data.js first. Here you can see name is story puzzle. This is the list of object. Let me import this from data.js. Now next we will store this data in one variable, so let's define the useState. Available cards, and we will pass the function setAvailableCard. It will update our value, and initially it will store the value story puzzle, so we will pass the story puzzle as initial value. Now next, let me add one div first, and here we provide the class name called storyboard. Now let me add this cardboard here component here. Now inside this cardboard component we pass the props available cards. And here I will use the map to iterate over each element in the list. So simply return one div. We'll pass the key card.id. Here the src path is card.image. We have the property image. Then we will add the description, so for that we'll add the one overlay effect. So class name, I will provide the class name called overlay. Then inside this div we will show that description, card.description. Let me add this all thing inside one div, so let me copy this and paste inside that div, and here I will pass the class name item. Now our cardboard is almost done, so let's go to the browser and check. So here you can see the card is rendered successfully. We have the image on the card and description. When I hover on the any description, there is a small transition you can see. If I refresh the page here, every time I can see the same order. So what we want here, we want to shuffle this card so user can arrange it in correct order. So let's shuffle this card list. Let's go back to our VS Code. First here I will define one function to shuffle this our card list. I will define this function outside the component. Here first we will declare one variable temp array. This will store our story puzzle. Let's destructure the list and store it temp array. Then I will use the for loop to iterate over each element. Assign the I value temp array dot length minus I. It will go till I is greater than 0, and each iteration we will decrement 1 I minus minus. We'll define the const j variable. Inside this j will assign a random number. We'll call the function math.random and generate the random number. i+1, so it will generate the random number between that specified number i+1. And now we will here just interchanging the position. The value at index I will become the value at index j, and value at index j will become the value at index I. Then here, instead of this story puzzle, inside this useState, we will call our method shuffle array, and we will simply return our temp array here. Let's go to the browser. Here we are getting one error, cannot access the j before initialization. Something went wrong, so let's check. Here I missed the semicolon, so let's me go back. Now here you can see error has gone. If I refresh, every time we are getting the different positioning. Let me refresh here one more time. Here you can see the cards positioning are changing. Now let's go back to our VS Code. Now next, let me add the div. So user can drag and drop the cards into that div. Provide the class name cardboard. Now we will create the another component. Let's call it a puzzle board.js. Here let me add this component puzzle board. We don't define any function. First let me go back to this puzzle board and define the component function. We export this puzzle board. Now let's import this. Now here you can see we have successfully import. If I go to the browser, here you can see dotted lines box. If I show you this CSS for this cardboard, go to our index.css. Let me search this cardboard. Here we given the minimum height, width, border and margin. Simple CSS. Let me go to the browser. Now if I try to drag and drop any card into that div, I am not able to do that. Here you can see it's not allowing me to drag and drop any card. So let's add this functionality. Let's go to our VS Code. We'll create the function handle on drag. We will pass that into our cardboard as a prop, so handle on drag. Let me create this function. Now what this function will do, it will receive these props an event and then card ID. We will pass the card ID when we drag any card. Then we will set the data. We'll simply pass the card ID here. Let's go to the cardboard, and here I will destructure this handle on drag. Inside this div, we will add the property draggable, so we can drag that card into the div. Then we will add the another property on drag start, and we will call the method handle on drag and pass the card ID as parameter. Now let's go to our app.js. here inside this div we pass the property onDrop. So let me define this function onDrop. Let me change the name. Let's say handle onDrop. Define one function here. So this function will call when we drop the card inside the div. So now what we will do here, we will fetch the data that we have sent during the drag. Using the method getData, we will pass the ID, that card ID, and will return the result and store it in the card ID variable. Next we will find that particular ID item from the available cards. We will use the method find and match if the card ID equal to card ID, and we will store the result in the card item. We want to store this result in one variable, so let me create another useState. Let's say story cards. We'll pass the function set story card equal to useState, and initially value is this empty array. Now we will check first if this card item has some value. If the card item is not undefined or null, then we will update the set story cards. First we will store all the previous stories card, and next we will add the new one card item. Next we will also update the available cards. So we filter out the available cards. We'll use the method filter and check if that card ID is not equal to the card ID that we have received. We call the set available cards method and pass all the remaining cards. Now next, inside this div, let me add the another property on drag over. Here we simply call the function and say e.preventDefault. Now next we will pass that story card into our puzzle board component as a props. Let's go to the puzzle board. Here I am destructuring this puzzle story cards, and we will use the map to iterate over each element. Story card index will return the one div. Provide the class name item. Inside that we will add the image tag. Pass the src value storycard.image. Here we'll add the key. Key will be storycard.id. Then let me go back. Now everything is set, so let's go to the browser. If I drag and drop, still I am not able to drag and drop. Something went wrong, so let's go to the VS Code and check. Yeah, here basically the card ID is number, so let me convert it into the number, because here we are using the triple equal to, it's checking the data type also. So now here you can see I am able to add, but this card size is not looks good. So let me put this in one div. Class name called a card item, and I will just copy and paste it inside that div. Let's go back. Now here you can see now card looks fine. Let me refresh. Here you can see I am able to drag and drop the card. This start button is looks weird. Here I have made the mistake. Now if I refresh, here you can see the start button looks good. Now next let's go to the browser. Inside this puzzle board we'll add one condition. If there is no card selected, then we will show the message drag and drop the cards. So here we check this stored cards is empty array, then we'll return the one div. Inside that div we will add our message in useTo tag. Drag and drop below cards here. Let me provide some styling. Class name initial text. Let's go to the browser. Here you can see no card is selected, so we can see the message drag and drop. When I drag in the card, that message will be disappear. Now let me create another component, result modal. This will open the one pop-up to show the result. Let me define the function for the result modal. Here we'll add our dialog box. So add the dialog tag here. Then provide the class name modal. Then inside this dialog tag we'll add the form and add the button or close. Then pass the inbuilt method dialog. So when we click on this close button, that pop-up will be closed. We'll pass the class name dialog button and let's say close. Now our dialog box is ready, so let's go back. But here you can see we don't see any pop-up. So first let me add that component result modal in our app.js. Here I will add this result modal. Now let me go back and refresh, but still we can't see. So basically here we have to pass the open inbuilt prop in dialog. So here we can see the dialog box with close button. When I click on this close button, that pop-up will be closed. Now let's go to the VS Code and let me remove this open from here. We will pass that dynamically. Let's go back to our app.js. Here on this start button, we will call the one function on handle start, and inside that function we will call the setInterval method. So that function will be executed after every time the specified interval on handle start. First we will need one variable to store the remaining time, so we'll use the useState time remaining. Then state update function we will say set time remaining. Then we define one const timer. Initial value is 1 and we will convert it into the millisecond, timer into 1000, and we'll pass as the initial value for the time remaining. Now next, inside this on handle start, we will use the one method that setInterval. It will take the two arguments, first is a function and second is the time, that interval we want to specify. Here I will give the 10. Now after this interval, specify this function will be executed every time, and say we will update the time remaining function. We will call and deduct the 10 from the previous time remaining. So when the time is less than or 0, we will say clear timeout. For the clear timeout, we need to store the set interval reference somewhere. So we will use the useRef. Say let time equal to useRef. We will define one variable, and now here we say time.current store the set interval reference. We'll call the clear interval method and pass the time.current when the time remaining is less than or equal to 0. And then we will also set the remaining time as the initial time that we have passed timer into 1000 to convert it into the millisecond. Now next we will pass that function on click on handle start. Now next we want to open the pop-up when the time finish. So first we define the one variable modal useRef. Then now here we say modal.current using the method showModal. We'll open the pop-up and we will pass this modal useRef to reset modal as a props component. Here we pass our modal. Here I am receiving destructuring this ref, and again we pass this ref to this dialog element. Now let me go to the browser. Here we are getting one error useRef. So let me import the useRef from React. Now error has gone. So let's go back to browser here, but still we can't see any model. Here we are getting the error, cannot read the properties of undefined show model, because we can't directly pass this useRef to the other component. We need to use this forwardRef. In React we have the forwardRef. So first let me import the forwardRef from React. Now next we will wrap our function to this forwardRef. Simply we wrap our entire function, and it will take the two parameter. First props, and then second one is a ref which we pass in the dialog. Now if I click on the start, here pop-up will be appear. Let me show you again. Here we can see the pop-up. So let's go back to our browser VS Code. When user click on the start button, then timer will be start, and then user, instead of the start, user will see the finish. So let me define the function for on handle finish. Now here we will define the method on handle finish. Inside this method we basically call the clear interval and pass the set interval references which we store in time.current. Then we call the set time remaining and set the initial value timer into 1000 to convert into the millisecond. Now we'll open the pop-up when click on the finish. Now next we'll define one variable let time start to check if the timer has started or not. If the time remaining is greater than 0 and time remaining is less than initial value, which is time into 1000, then we will say the timer has started. If this condition is true, then we will say time has started. User click on the start button. Then here we will add the JSX condition. We will check if the time start is true, means we will show the finish, otherwise we will say start. And same for the on click. First we will check if the user click on the start button or not. If time started true, we will call the on handle finish, otherwise on handle start. Let me increment the time 5. Now if I refresh, click on the start, wait till the 5 seconds and pop-up will be open. Now here you can see. Now let me refresh again, click on the start, and immediately I click on the finish. The pop-up will be open. Start, finish. Here pop-up is appear. Now let's go back to our VS Code. Now we calculate the result. So, and we'll pass that result to the result model. So first we will define the function, say calculate result. Inside that basically we check if that card arranged in a correct order or not. So we'll first get all the IDs. Story card, using the map method we will return the card.id. This IDs array will store all the IDs, and then we will check if that card is arranged in correct order or not. We'll check the first length. This story card dot length is matched with the story puzzle dot length to check if all the cards are present on the puzzle board or not. Then we'll use the every method, and it will take the parameter value, index and array. It will return. We will check if index equal to 0 or this value is greater than previous one, means that value is arranged in a ascending order. It will return the true. So we'll check these two conditions and return the result, true or false. Now then we will pass this calculate result as a props. Here we are receiving this result. We will call this result function. If it is true, means you win, congratulations, we will display. And if it is false, means user lost, then we will say you lost, better luck next time. Next, let me start, add some, drag and drop some card. Here we can see the message after 5 seconds. Let me increase the time. Let me go and let's say 25. Let me go back, click on the start. Now I arrange it in a correct order. I already know the story, so I arrange it in correct order and click on the finish, and here we will get the result. You win, congratulations. Now next we want to reset this all the things, puzzle board and available cards when we click on the close. So let me go back to the VS Code. We'll define the function handle on close, and we will pass this function to the result model. And here we simply update the storyboard as an empty array and set available cards to the, we'll call the function shuffle array. Now next we pass this function as a props here in the result model. Boot our result model function and receive this on close. On click we call this function on close. Now if I show you, let me refresh first. If I drag and drop some cards randomly and click on the finish, and after close the card will be reset. But here you can see the puzzle board and available cards. Before you click on the start, we want to show this only when user click on the start button. So let's go to the VS Code, go to our app.js, and this storyboard and cardboard we want to show only when user click on the start. So first here we check if the time start is true, then only we'll return this div cardboard and storyboard. Let me put this div in one component. Now next here you can see we don't see anything. When I click on the start, we'll see the puzzle board and available cards. Now next we will add the video. So let me add the video tag. We'll pass the ID as a video, then pass some property autoplay muted loop. So this video will play in loop. Add the source tag and pass the path, video path. Let me import the video from asset. If I show you this video in asset folder, here we have this game video. Now let me go back to our source. Here I am giving this video path, and this here I will pass the another property type. So we can say the type of video is mp4, and we want to show this video only when time start is false. So let me refresh. Here you can see the video is display. If I click on the start, then all puzzle board and available cards will show. But here if you notice, I can't move the card, I can't interchange the card. If I want to place this first card to the second place and second card to the first place, I can't do that. So let's go to the VS Code and see how we can do. So in this puzzle board component, we will pass the function handle on drag start. We haven't yet created this function, so let's create this function handle on drag start. This will receive the card ID as a parameter. Before that, we need to define the useRef for the store the index of the first card and second card that we want to interchange. So let's call it drag card, and second one is a drag over card. Now inside this handle on drag start function, what we will do, we just store this card ID to the first card drag card dot current equal to card ID, and we will pass this function to the puzzle board as a props. Here I am receiving this handle on drag start. On this div, first we will make it draggable, and then we call the event on drag start and call this function handle on drag start and pass the index as a parameter. Let's go back to our app.js. Then we will pass the another function handle on drag enter. Here in this function we will set the index for the second card. Let me create this function const handle on drag enter. This will also receive the card ID. Then we will store this card ID in dragoverCard.current. Here we receive that function. Then add another event on drag enter and call this function handle on drag enter and pass the index. Now third function we will pass handle on drag end. In this function basically we interchange the position between the two cards. So we will first define the one temporary variable which store the all values of story cards. Then we will interchange the position. First card will become the second and second will become the first. Then we simply update the story card and pass this new temp card items. Now next we'll go to this puzzle board and receive this on drag end function. Add the event on drag end and call this on handle on drag function, and I will add the another event on drag over, and here we will say e.preventDefault. Let's go to the browser. Let me refresh and drag and drop some card. Now here you can see I am able to change the position. If I want to place this third card into the last position and this one to the second position, I can do this now. So now next we will just add the one div to show the remaining time. So here after the header I will add another div. Let me provide the class name time to add some styling. Inside that we'll add the tag p and will show the remaining time. Divided by 1000, so we'll convert the millisecond into the second, and we only show this remaining time when user click on the start button. Now let me start. Here now we can see the time. We can drag and drop the cards. We can change the position of the card, and if I click on the finish button, then it will show the result. So this is our story puzzle game app. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Imaginary Engineering. Thank you for watching.